Welcome to Valor Fights here tonight in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Valor Fights 29, new blood rising. Cody Gwynn with Casey Oxendine. And tonight, the Valor Bantamweight title will be on the line. Freddie Frogman Walker taking on Rodrigo the Monster Gonzalez. Two great nicknames, two great fighters tonight. Titles on the line. What do you expect to see?
Man, Freddie Walker on a tremendous roll right now. He is the Frogman, of course, trained by the McMahons, and he comes here tonight with a vengeance. Rodrigo Gonzalez steps in at the last minute. You know, he's a Bushido prospect. This guy, he really stunned the whole Valor community with that big knockout in his last outing, and I can't wait to see this fight unfold. It's going to be amazing tonight.
Two great strikers facing off for the title here tonight at Valor Fights.
This bout is scheduled for three 3-minute rounds. First, out of the Hogs red corner, holding a record of 1 win and no defeats. He weighed in at 184 pounds and is representing over 9,000 MMA in Huntsville, Alabama. Thomas Hilliard. And his opponent out of the OEB blue corner, he holds a record of 2 wins and no defeats. Weighed in at 186 pounds and is representing Knuckle Up Fitness in Douglasville, Georgia. Bright Benson.
Man, I just got a
Your
chill down
referee
my
for this
spine.
fight is Nate Jolly.
I think something big's going to happen in this fight. I just feel it. I'm very, very excited. Looking at Bright Benson over there, he's a scary-looking guy, but I look back over here, and I see Hilliard. That guy, he's nothing to scoff at either. I just feel it here.
Well, we hope so. To kick off the MMA portion of the card here at Valor 29, these two guys come out, touch the gloves. We will see how it goes, and there comes the jab from Benson.
Already throwing for the fences are both of these competitors.
Ooh, that head kick just misses. And again, the range of both these guys is going to come into play. Who uses it better? Good jab there from Benson.
Beautiful shot there. Rocked the head of Thomas Hilliard back. Ooh. Another big straight right hand or over the hand by Bright Benson.
Might have rocked him a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's big shots there. Hilliard turning his back, taking some big shots here, looking for the takedown.
And might be a desperate takedown here, and he might have got stuck in a guillotine.
Oh, that might be a big pull there. He needs to watch that, needs to defend the wrist.
He's going to try to use that guillotine here to set up a takedown for Hilliard.
Those arms of Bright Benson, they're strong but like shoelaces at the same time. A very nasty combination because once that choke sinks in, it's a done deal.
And Hilliard is bleeding here. It looks like it's on his arm. He's picking him up all the way. That's going to take the pressure off his neck a little bit.
Look at the rubber neck of Hilliard here. How is he still awake? That choke is very, very tight.
He's got a little bit of a high crotch here. He lets it go, and this could be trouble now. He's going to try to pull his head out.
He may be unconscious. I think he's unconscious here. The ref needs to step in.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
I thought he was out. He might have been tapped on the other side.
Yeah. Hey, props to Nate Jolly for not stepping in when I called it because he was actually fine.
Really odd, though, just to stop moving.
Yeah, he just hung there.
Not a great idea in a fight to just stop moving, but that guillotine had been locked on for a long time. Could have been getting lightheaded. A great win for Bright Benson.
Absolutely, and like I said, you know, both men looking good, but once those shoelaces were wrapped around the neck of Thomas Hilliard, it was all she wrote. He was in a tough spot. You know, Cody, you got to go to the wrist. You got to defend those because if you don't, they can come back to haunt you. Even if they don't get you right in the onset of the choke, they have staying power. It does the guillotine choke.
And a very good performance from a guy with a bright future in Bright Benson, and he will move to 3-0 now in his career thus far. And it looks like it might be a knee injury for Thomas Hilliard. We look at some of the replays. Big shots from Bright Benson.
And from the start, Hilliard did not seem, you know, rock steady in this fight. He was turning away. You know, the strikes of Bright Benson so aggressive. He was unable to get going, and then when he saw it, he laced it up. He had the arm firmly into the guillotine position, and he rode it out and got the victory.
Jennifer Oxendine will introduce your winner, Bright Benson, here at Valor 29.
Your referee stops this fight at 1 minute and 23 seconds into the first round for your winner, out of the OEB blue corner, Bright Benson. This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, out of the Hogs red corner, making his MMA debut. He weighed in at 160 pounds and is representing Rick Severa in Memphis, Tennessee, Dan Bates. And his opponent, out of the OEB blue corner, he holds a record of 2 wins and 2 defeats. Weighed in at 157 pounds and is representing KMAA in Knoxville, Tennessee, Dramel Strong. Your referee for this fight is Josh Ward.
We are ready for this fight. One thing to note, I did talk to you about earlier, Eric Turner, head coach of KMA, is not here tonight. He is feeling a little under the weather. Eric, if you're watching, we wish you well. Joey Zonar in the corner, the assistant coach at KMA. And here we go, Strong versus Bates.
Southpaw, coming out southpaw. We didn't know anything, now we know a little something. Dramel doing exactly what I suggested here, closing the distance and getting it to the mat.
And if you watch the Knoxville fight, this looks exactly the same. Not going to play any games there. You see him light on the feet was Bates early. But here he will be forced to work an open guard here for Bates. And Strong not passing yet, going to work. And as I said, though, position. There's no rush.
And the difference here is that Bates doesn't seem too hasty to even close his guard up, looking for almost like a butterfly guard here. Where, you know, in the last outing you saw Dramel Strong locked down into a closed guard almost immediately.
His opponent then, though, you know, not a lot of ground experience, so that's interesting to see how much ground experience, because that's the thing about the fighters who maybe are not in a gym full-time or a full MMA gym. You know, do they do all striking? Do they do all jiu-jitsu? You know, what is the main focus? And
well, what's crazy is that, you know, you see guys who compete independently, they still watch the UFC. They still watch MMA fights on the internet, on YouTube and so forth. So, you know, it's not like it was back in the day, you know, where guys
nobody's
that were
really
independents
one-dimensional.
and they didn't know anything that's going on. These guys still know what's going on. It's just that they don't understand the details that you need to take it to the next level. But they're still dangerous nonetheless. You've got to keep that in mind.
There's some big shots landed there from Strong a little bit ago here working. And again, there's no rush from Strong. And you do have to wonder, you know, how long the ref gives them before he considers standing them up if there's not a lot of action. Dramel throwing those big punches, though, to kind of maintain his position here on top. And
nice attack there
at
the butterfly.
Nice.
And that's something you don't see very much from an independent debut, is to actually utilize the butterfly guard. He actually did there.
He's swimming a guillotine
Looking
here.
for the guillotine. You know, Dramel Strong needs to watch out for that, because that's the one move that anyone can pull if they get it tight.
A little bit of a low shot there. It's telling the ref he's good. It's always fun to see. And we'll see how he works here.
It could be Dean Bates getting ready to go for a ride. It looks as though Dramel Strong has his hands clenched behind the hips of Dean Bates, and that could equal frequent flyer miles.
And I believe he's let go. The guillotine's reaching under him, and there he goes for the takedown. A good job for Bates not freaking out, though. He's going to probably try to get his guard back here.
And he works for it, you know.
Nice.
Again, as an independent.
And again, that shows that there's been a little training. That's something you usually don't just get.
He's not a street fighter, you know, a right out, you know.
And he's still working for that guillotine. Now it's a little bit under the chin here. Strong doing a good job putting his attention. As you said earlier in the last fight, he's fighting the wrist. He's not just.
And look at this, that butterfly going back underneath the right leg of Dramel Strong. That's what elevated and got
him back to his feet.
Yeah, and helped Bates to escape earlier.
And we are in our final 5 seconds here of this bout. Strong doing a good job with his top game. Strong with 2 takedowns in the round, enough to win it, you would assume here.
Yeah, undoubtedly, and looking more poised than he did in his last bout. And that's cool. That's what you want to do. You want to continue to make that progress. Dramel Strong looking great. Dean Bates, though, props to him, man, for staying in the fight. He didn't really get into any tough spots at all. Didn't win the round, but, you know, in his first competition, looked very composed.
He never let his opponent pass guard. I think that was a big thing. I think he was keeping the open guard, maybe trying to bait him into trying to pass and maybe set up a sweep with his butterflies, and done a very good job getting back to his feet. But once he did, Dramel sent him for a little bit of a ride here with a nice little takedown. That's the one risk you take going for a guillotine. You usually leave yourself open.
And Dramel looking very refined there. You know, he got those hips. He didn't get hasty, spending a bunch of energy. He got those hands locked back there when he felt it was right. he sent Bates for a ride.
And as we mentioned, man, Jermell, really one of the most patient guys we have. And that's something, patience is a big thing in fighting a lot of people don't think about. And you don't see really until the higher levels. You know, there's no rush. You know, the fight does not have to end in 30 seconds every single time. Again, oh, and here comes Bates. And I'm guessing Bates going to be more of a striker here. And Jermell, never really quick on his takedowns. He separates them. Sometimes he'll come quick. Sometimes he'll bait you. And Bates doing a good job here striking. And that got a little wild there and a little shoot here from Jermell Strong. And now he's throwing strikes and
nice.
a takedown.
Again, Jermell Strong doing what he has to do. Looking a little more aggressive there, man. Maybe he took him one of those leg kicks. It stung a little bit and woke him up.
Yep. And now Jermell. It looks like it's hard to see what he's really setting up for here, what Bates is setting up for. He's turning to his side, might try to.
Look at that right hook again. You know, it looks like he may be able to implement the butterfly from either side because it was the left foot that he implemented before. Now he's looking to implement both feet. That's impressive. Like I said, typically your beginner grapplers tend to go towards the closed guard. The butterfly comes later.
Jermell Strong doing a good job adding a little bit more pressure now in the guard. Stopping it, they're right in Jermell Strong's corner right there. Joey Zonar, Jason King, the blue shirts right outside the cage. So interesting to see if he'll pass this time. He still seems very patient, though, to sit in the open guard, and now he's starting to walk up a little bit. What's your opinion on the open guard? Should he close it and be a little bit more effective, or because he's not got a sweep yet, really got back to his feet earlier. Now it looks like he's closing it up just a little bit.
I mean, you know, like you kind of have to go with the feel of it. It depends on how good you are and how good you are at reacting. For me personally, and when I work with a guy who's very explosive and quick, you may want to close him up there because that way you don't have to actually keep pace with how quickly he's moving. You just lock him down. When you feel like you've got good control, then you go ahead and sink those hooks in there. One thing you don't want to do is get one hook sunk in and one hook out because then it makes it very easy for an experienced grappler to pass your guard.
It looks like here Bates moving a lot. He's almost doing the passing for Jermell. Jermell's starting to step over. Might go side control here. It looks like he's just pinning him against the corner here of the cage. There's full mount.
Here we go.
So this is big.
Now, this is a thing we've seen from Jermell Strong where he's typically gotten to this position but had a little trouble pulling the trigger to finish the bout. Is he going to open up here and put the finishing touches on this fight?
Be really good for Strong to show a little bit more aggressiveness here and pick up a good finish. But Bates doing a good job getting back to half guard. Very good job. And he is now back in half guard. Still, it's an open half guard, though, which is going to allow Strong to pretty much go right back in the mount.
Here we go. Nice shots. And that's the thing, man. I mentioned this in the last fight. If he had gotten into a good position and just opened up a little bit, in his last fight, he possibly could have finished. So we'll see if he takes my advice here.
And, I mean, you're saying you can be too patient.
Yeah.
So that is something Strong showing.
Now, you can be too patient, but it's kind of hard to push forward if you feel it's really risky and you're winning by the margins that Jermell Strong is winning. It's hard for us sitting back cage side.
Yeah. We're now at the end of the second round. Strong again, though, very impressive from top. Good sportsmanship, guys, helping each other up. Strong, great top game again. Another nice little takedown. End up taking full mount. Bates doing a good job getting out of it, though. I think Bates obviously down on the scorecard, but it's shown a lot from debut. Yeah,
he's a tremendous competitor, a tough guy, and he's not out there gassing. It's his first fight. Typically speaking, going to the third round, you're going to see a debut out there, coughing up a lung. You're not seeing that from him. I'm impressed by that. Jermell Strong, I'm impressed with as well. I would like to see him pick up that work rate a little bit more once he gets into a dominant spot. Try to get a finish because as he continues into his career and takes that next step up, he's going to need that.
And I think here Bates kind of having the open guard. Maybe the open guard's kind of, maybe kind of scaring Strong in a sense. Why is he not closing his guard? Maybe I shouldn't pass, and that's causing him to be a little more tentative here. As the last fight, that guy was kind of clinging on for dear life, which in that sense kind of made Strong not be able to do anything. So a little bit of two different sides of the spectrum here in his last two fights.
Well, yeah, and there's so much that can happen. You make one mistake, the guy scrambled, he's back up on the feet, and you got to do it all over again. You got to get him back down. So, it's, again, easy for us to criticize, but when fight or flight kicks in, it's your training that takes over.
And again, right then in that whole second round, he was pretty much in his own corner. So third round, here we go, Bates and Strong, and Bates comes out firing. Strong in for the takedown here right on the hips.
Already has the hands clasped underneath the hips of Dean Bates.
He is
and Dean Bates with a good defense there, at least in the early going. He's got a good post there, working back to his feet, but Tremendous finish by Jermell Strong.
Good job by Strong going away from the big takedown to go into the slow one just to make sure things go. We are back in the open guard. Looks like Strong's trying to pass it a little, though.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jermell Strong at least step over one of those legs, get into that half guard position.
Trying to get back to mount.
Yeah, and open up a little bit, man. It's amateur competition, but he can drop those elbows to the body, land some shots to the face, punches to the face. But if you're at least past one of those legs, it's going to open up a lot of more options, and that's what I'd like to see from Strong here.
The unique thing is, it's Bates almost is giving him half guard here with the one, setting in that one butterfly. You're pretty much giving away your half guard here, and he's working against the cage. Again, we are right in Jermell Strong's corner, and that's a big thing for people who don't know. Being right in your corner, those guys are just whispering things to him. They're right there. There's no yelling.
Especially Joey. Joey talks constantly, and everything he says is, he's very calm, and everything he says, means something. And, this is a guy that's been in the corner of Ovince St. Preux in big fights, in the UFC.
And
not to mention Jason King,
yeah,
who is also a tremendous competitor.
And it looks like trying to get wrist control here from the bottom of his Bates. That always is possible to set up a triangle or an armbar. Now he might be setting up a Kimura. Good job. And Strong, you see, pinning it down here. And again, Strong now kind of going to the defensive, not really throwing a lot of strikes. But Bates knows, he can't be stuck in this position for another minute, 10 seconds.
Here we go. Is that a triangle setup? Look at this. The angle is not right, but at least a good attempt by Dean Bates.
Bates knows that he can't just sit there.
Yeah, and it shows that he has some ability there, some grappling ability. Maybe he's trained with some tough camps and just has chosen to go at it on his own.
He did tell us he's with a camp called Rixavera. Not too much known about it. Obviously, Memphis is a new place we're venturing in on, but he's got a teammate tonight. We'll learn a little bit more about them probably when he fights. And they're going back to their feet
look at
here.
this.
Bates
Dean Bates getting it up there. Dean needs to go ahead and go with the whizzer there.
Bates ended up on top there.
Yeah, there we go. Transition to the whizzer. That stops Jermell Strong from getting to his back. Is he going to have enough time to pull anything off, though? Just less than 20 seconds left in this bout.
See if Strong maybe tries to get one more takedown to kind of put the exclamation mark on things. 10 seconds left here in the third and final round. And there it is.
And finishes with a beautiful takedown, almost suplex-esque.
And Strong using his wrestling to really control the fight. And again, much like last time we see Jermell Strong,
but I think better.
Controlled.
But I think better. I think he was more controlled. I think the opponent was a little bit more refined, a little bit better opponent. And I was happy with what I saw from Jermell in this bout.
And as we mentioned, two different sides of the spectrum. This guy was keeping his guard open. It almost looked like he was always thinking about a sweep or thinking about maybe he was trying to set up that triangle the whole time. So a careful fight. You dare to say maybe a little bit of a safe fight. But again, this is probably going to be the fight that gets Strong over 500, which is a big thing here to get a bigger fight and possibly face some better competition in the future for Jermell Strong.
Absolutely. Well, he goes over into the winning record, and that's a great feeling, I'm sure.
We will tally the scores here at Valor Fights. Jermell Strong, we both believe, should come away with a win here tonight at Valor 29. And we will get prepared to send it to the cage and Jennifer Oxendine, the official decision here between Jermell Strong and Dean Bates.
After 3 rounds, we go to your judges for decision. All 3 judges score this fight 30-27 for your winner. Unanimous decision out of the OEB blue corner, Jermell Strong. This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, out of the Hogs red corner, making his MMA debut. He weighed in at 175 pounds and is representing Rixavera in Memphis, Tennessee. Put your hands together for Khalil Boyd. And his opponent out of the OEB blue corner. He holds a record of 4 wins and no defeats. weighed in at 176 pounds and is representing Knuckle Up Fitness in Douglasville, Georgia. Please give it up for Yemi Udawol. Your referee for this fight is Josh Ward.
And a little intimidation there from Udawol, saying, come to the center of the cage. Udawol, a champion in another promotion here in the Southeast in the welterweight division, so moving up a little bit for this fight. I'm guessing 170, probably his natural weight class.
Sure, here we go.
And both guys coming out slow and steady here. We're going to feel each other out, nothing too crazy. Boyd even seems very composed at debut.
Yeah, Boyd very, very calm and very close and keeping that left arm really, really low. That concerns me if I'm in his corner, because the overhand right could signal a lot of danger there.
He caught the kick there, but doesn't want anything to do with it. And again, ooh, good little slap on the inside leg kick there. And again, very composed, tries to spin a back kick a little too close there. And here we go with the grappling. Udawol going to try to put him against the cage. Boyd doing a good job lowering his hips there. Now he's going to be the one. These guys are just going to kind of battle it out here. It seems like very similar statures in their size.
Yeah, but Boyd, it seems like he's seems kind of heavy built. He, like naturally has some strength to him. Yemi Udawol, his experience though taking over right here.
The takedown went right to mount.
Yeah, and that's a great position to be in.
We will
if
see.
You're Udawol, of course, Khalil Boyd.
He's not a big fan of this position.
No, in a tough spot, only a little over a minute into his debut inside the cage.
Again, we will see what he has on the ground. Might be setting up an armbar here is Udawol, as he tries to isolate the left arm here. He's trying to hold it. It also could free up some more punches to kind of pin that arm away from the face.
Kind of surprised that we're not seeing any kind of motion out of Boyd. If he were to have stayed on his back, posted his feet, he could have bridged.
Ooh,
looking to get up here. But Udawol showing his grappling prowess.
Yep. And now full back control here. Looks like maybe both hooks are in for Udawol, who is on the back of Khalil Boyd. It's really a perfect hook set. And now this might be a nice chance for Boyd. Very good by Boyd.
Good escape there.
And he got a little too close, and now we're back in the grappling. See if they can separate. Oh, it might be a big takedown here coming from Udawol.
Again, Boyd showing that he has the athleticism and sort of the shows the beginnings of some ability.
Yes.
But really doesn't know how to pull the trigger yet. It's almost like he's missing a little piece there in the technique, and Udawol is definitely taking advantage
Doing
here.
a good job here, kind of staying on his feet. He's got to be careful not to get his back taken on the feet, which has just now happened. Udawol has the back of Boyd, and he's going to try that little takedown we seen earlier. Very nice. Yeah. And side control here, and a great job by Boyd. Coming right back to his guard. Got to be careful here and see what he sets up. His opponent earlier was using a lot of open guard.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that we discussed earlier that concerns me if the open guard is, of course, you don't have the twisting footlocks allowed, but the Achilles is still open there. So when you leave that guard hanging, that's free reign for the guy on top.
Very impressed with Boyd's composure. Like, even on the ground right there,
Yeah.
he seems very composed, not worried. A lot of times when you get put mount about a minute into a fight as a debut, it's a little bit of a freaky situation. He looks very calm, very composed. Not showing a lot of debut signs here.
Yeah, and Udawol, he definitely had to work hard to do what he did do to Khalil Boyd, but he really didn't cause any damage. Definitely took the first round, however, 1-0 for Khalil Boyd. I'm sorry, for Yemi Udawol. But Khalil Boyd, impressive. And just like his teammate that you see there in the corner, still with his shirt off. We saw him in competition earlier, Dean Bates. It looks like he's ready to climb back in the cage again himself if you guys need it.
And we take a look at some of the replays. There you see the takedown right into mount. Very impressive. You don't see a lot of takedowns go right into a dominant position like that, and he worked from mount for a little bit. Still kind of both guys feeling each other out there. Obviously, the groundwork won the round for Udawol, and we'll get it back here standing. And Boyd looked good on his feet, so we'll see how long this fight stays on his feet, or Udawol feels best on the ground maybe now. Good inside leg kick there from Boyd.
Of course, Khalil Boyd, a youngster here, 19 years of age. Fresh as rain, if you will.
And Udawol threw that head kick at the side where that hand's staying a little bit low. Hands coming up a little bit higher now. Catches the kick. This could be a takedown. He pulls it. Maybe trying to set up a guillotine or even a modified darts, but he has nothing. And we are now Back with Oduwal on top. And Boyd working to get his guard back here again, though, an open guard, and Oduwal trying to take advantage. Boyd doing a good job with his hips so far, but in the end will get put in side control.
Well, you know, the style and posture is eerily similar to his teammate Dean Bates. They look very, like, composed. It doesn't seem like they're, you know, in any trouble whatsoever. They're calm, but still not making any progress forward to win the bout. You know, definitely in a tough spot here.
The knees to the body and elbows to the body being utilized by Oduwal. It'll be interesting to see if he chooses to stay in side control, if he takes mount again. And what he sets up, he's doing a very good job. He's trying to pin an arm down and go for a little bit of a crucifix here. And this could set up an arm triangle, or actually he doesn't have the arm pinned. He might just try to take the back.
Yeah, and this is definitely a good position. You know, he's got that cross face in, and it's very uncomfortable. But he switches right back to the underhook and just landing a few shots. Of course, Oduwal unable to drop the left elbow here because it is amateur competition. Doesn't stop him from attacking that straight arm lock.
When he's going to pull his legs over his head, he's not going to be able to. He's turned his body, which might make his arm not such an arm bar.
And, you know, that's a tough spot to finish, but what it will do is entice him to bend the arm and look back into the Americana, which will be even tighter at that spot. In this case, Iron Cross on, big shots from Yemi Oduwal with that left hand.
And again, that arm is trapped, therefore he's not able to block a lot of punches. He only has one arm. He turns, and now he's got the arm back, but he's going to give up his back here. And both hooks in for Oduwal, a position we were in the first round, and Boyd was able to actually get back to his feet. Oh, big shot.
Yeah, he's going to have to move here, or we're going to see Josh Ward step in here to stop this bout. These are amateurs.
And again, he's bucking, trying to get him to come up. And earlier he did get back to his feet here. He's trying that again. And now he's reaching that hand through. Might try a rear naked choke here for the finish. 30 seconds left. He's flattened him out.
Oh, this could be the end.
And that is the end of the fight. Great performance by Yemi Oduwal. A rear naked choke finish in the second round. Boyd, though, a debut taking on a 4-0 guy. Hard not to be impressed. Really battling out of some tough positions there and taking the fight to the second round.
He really didn't take any damage. That's the thing. You know, he and his teammate both, I mentioned it before, Dean Bates, they were very, like, composed. Now, of course, it meant disaster in this fight. You know, they weren't able to progress, but it's a good base. You know, if these guys move on and continue to improve their skills, they're youngsters, it could be a good future. But as of now, Yemi Oduwal, he advances to 5-0. That's a tremendous amateur record.
It's a big thing to be early in your career. It's going to be real interesting to see what he does going forward, representing Knuckle Up. Good night for Knuckle Up so far with Bright Benson. Now Yemi Oduwal, both keeping their undefeated records intact. Rear naked choke finish in the second round for Yemi Oduwal, and we are on the way to getting an official decision here. And a possible future contender at 170 pounds. I guess he's now a for sure contender, going to 5-0 in the Valor welterweight division. Yemi Oduwal, and we will send it to the cage. Jennifer Oxendine going to have the official decision here at Valor 29.
Your referee stops this fight at 2 minutes and 29 seconds into the second round. For your winner by rear naked choke out of the OEB blue corner, Yemi Oduwal. This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the Hogs red corner, he holds a record of 3 wins and 2 defeats. Weighed in at 135 pounds and represents Bushido MMA in Kingsport, Tennessee. Put your hands together for Rodriguez, the Monster Gonzalez. And his opponent, fighting out of the OEB blue corner, he holds a record of 4 wins and 1 defeat. Weighed in at 135 pounds and represents Team NKI in Knoxville, Tennessee. Give it up for Freddie, the Frogman Walker. Your referee for this fight, Nate Jolly.
I'm digging those Crow Cop trunks he's got on there, adorned by Freddie Walker.
They meet in the middle. Nate Jolly breaks down the rules to our 2 competitors. Bantamweight title on the line. Here we go. It is Rodrigo Gonzalez, Freddie Walker. 135 title, and we are off. Rodrigo, quick to the center.
These guys are throwing for the fences already.
Do not blink. Rodrigo
clutches. Oh, big right hand there by Freddie Walker. Rodrigo undaunted.
And Freddie Walker Rodrigo getting a little wild, and Freddie
Dude,
capitalized.
these guys are very wild, but very exciting here.
Right
Freddie Walker
into mount.
advances to mount position.
Wow!
Yeah, big
Right over goes
reversal
Rodrigo.
here by Rodrigo.
This is the quickest 30 seconds that ever went by in a fight. These
Here we
guys
go.
are battling.
Freddie Walker looking possibly for a Kimura lock, or watch out for that hip bump sweep.
And usually use the Kimura. You see most guys use Kimura to sweep, not actually go for the submission. So it's interesting to hear open guard yet again, though, and that is because he is setting up, though, a Kimura. And that makes me think he might actually be setting up a Kimura.
Undoubtedly.
Rodrigo, what a way to start the fight, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think both guys are possibly, maybe gathering themselves here.
Rodrigo doing a good job.
Oh, man, possibly a Sakuraba-style Kimura, looking for it on the part of Freddie Walker.
And one key thing, and he's going to let go. That could equal a takedown here for Rodrigo if he's able to take the back, which is what he's working on.
Yeah, and it looks like he's looking for the crossface, and he finally gets it.
And one big thing, if Rodrigo was rocked, he's now had time to recover a little bit. Walker digs down for a takedown. He might get it here.
Looking for the
guillotine
guillotine
from
choke here.
Gonzalez.
Is Gonzalez, absolutely.
Looks like Walker might poke his head out. Oh, he's grimacing. Yeah, he's out. Now we'll see if Rigo will cage walk, try to get back to his feet.
What a work rate here by both of these competitors. He needs to watch out.
Good
It looks like
takedown.
Walker almost guillotined or
That's deep.
DDT'd himself. This could be it. That is a very tight guillotine choke
Walker
on the part
is
of
grimacing.
Rodrigo.
He said he's good. He looked at Nate Jolly and just gave him a thumbs up. He might have got a little breathing room. He's working on the elbow. He's got a hand on the wrist. Throws to the body. That grimace, though. Oh, man, it is close. Rodrigo listening to his corner, who are right next to us here, but they
Still
are in
under
McMahon's
the
corner.
neck
He's out.
of Freddie Walker.
He is
Rodrigo
out.
lets go of it.
Wow.
Where do we go from here?
Big thing is
What a
Gonzalez
toll.
ends up on top.
Did that take a toll on the arm of Rodrigo?
That's a great point. He was working hard for it. He thought he had it. He's got to watch here. 50 seconds remain in this crazy first round.
Who is winning this round? Who is winning? That guillotine was so tight. Of course, Walker with two big takedowns in this round.
And he landed a better punch on the feet as well. But Rodrigo going for that guillotine. He's fighting it out. He might try to set up a triangle or an armbar here. And a nice little ground pound.
Freddie Walker holding on to the legs. Is he possibly setting up an ankle lock when he stands up above it?
Could be an
we
ankle
see
or
him fall
Achilles.
back on that in the last 20 seconds of this round?
An ankle or an Achilles lock possible here. Our legal and amateur competition. 3 3-minute rounds for the title. 15 seconds left. And what a first round it's been between these two.
10 seconds left. Who takes this first round?
And it looks like Freddie will try to almost guarantee a point in the judges' score column as he ends the fight, or ends the first round on top. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of action there, a lot of heat. How are these guys? You know, they're obviously conditioned well. They're going to be able to continue this pace throughout the entirety of this 3 rounds.
As I mentioned earlier, it's very important to mention this is the first time Rodrigo has ever been out of the first round. Freddie Walker has been to a decision. Freddie Walker just ended a long hiatus in his last fight. So again,
the ring rust could be stepping in there. It could cause those arms to go flush. Of course, Rodrigo, he pulled that guillotine for probably 30, 45 seconds with all he had. Did that take anything out of his grip?
Judging by looking in the cage, Rodrigo looks a little bit more tired than Freddie Walker.
But he's the first one back to his feet, though.
Yep. That's big. Look at this guillotine. We're going to switch over here. He has it. He takes him up. He takes him right down.
Yeah,
Freddie,
that was almost a DDT position, and he did it to himself.
Yep. He spiked it, trying to get a little more impact, and maybe
you've got to watch. You can't. You've got to lift. You got to try to turn to the other side. When you go that direction, you run the risk of busting your own neck.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, the mouthpiece.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start the round. Rodrigo Gonzalez getting his mouthpiece back ready. And guys, this is the part you don't want to blink at. These 10 seconds to kick off this round. Unbelievable. Nate Jolly, your official, as we start round 2 after a fight of the night, round 1 between Gonzalez and Walker. Here we go.
Exactly. Already a beautiful fight. Like you said, they probably secured fight of the night honors already.
Gonzalez hands straight down, not up. And look
Big
at Walker.
overhand.
Walker is wrestling here, something we've not really seen from him. Interesting. Oh, he lowered him down.
Being made perhaps a little more cautious of that guillotine this time.
It's interesting, though, after Walker was landing the shots on his feet, and now he's initiating the takedown.
Yeah. Now he's in a beautiful position. I've mentioned this earlier tonight. I like the half guard position, actually, from top.
Wow, again, another sweep from bottom of mount by Rodrigo Gonzalez. That's impressive.
But look at this, Walker right back off his back almost instantly. Rodrigo does not have the guillotine choke in this situation, but he could possibly bridge Freddie Walker.
And a possible sweep here, maybe to get back to his feet. And it'd be interesting to see if he would hip out here and maybe try to take top, but he doesn't. He pitches off.
Again, if I'm in Freddie Walker's corner, I'm going to say keep the half guard position from here. It's a very dominant spot. Every time he passes, it allows Rodrigo to get that elevator.
And a big thing here, he is staying in the half guard, as you've mentioned, and he is working. And the explosiveness, make guys tired. Those are elbows to the body, though. Those will wear on you. And again, you have to worry about the quick weight cut. He had 1 day to cut weight. A lot of these guys know their time frame. Rodrigo cut weight in 1 day. Took the fight on 1 day notice. Has looked impressive, though. Great back and forth here.
Could it be that the conditioning of Rodrigo the first time out of round 1, that he is feeling that burn here?
Quite possibly, especially since the fight has went so fast-paced. And Rodrigo's been defensive a lot. We've not seen Rodrigo defensive in quite some time. Again, the only fight he's lost in the last year lasted 12 seconds.
Right.
So Rodrigo's been offense, offense, offense. He's playing a lot of defense here tonight so far.
Well, here we have Freddie in cross-body position, but Rodrigo's close to the cage. Possibly look for Rodrigo to climb his feet up onto the cage, looking for an elevator, but he has taken a lot of shots there to the body.
Those knees to the body are what finished Freddie's last fight. That's a Darce attempt right here.
Here we go, the guillotine.
That's
He's pulling the guillotine, but he did not have control.
And see, that's it. That is arm all the way in.
He's got the rear naked choke position on the guillotine. That is a very strong grip.
Rodrigo passes, which is a big thing. That grip, though, will still allow a little pressure.
Look at that beautiful switch out there by Freddie Walker. Excellent transitions here. Props to both of these fighters.
And these guys are working. And again, we said striking, striking, striking. Look at this grappling. Unbelievable grappling. And again, seeing Rodrigo not hit bump right there might be a sound he's getting a little tired.
Absolutely, Freddie. If I'm in his corner, I'm going to say, look out. Don't pull that guillotine again. Rodrigo is defending it extremely well. Stay into positions that are working.
20 seconds left in round number 2. He again looks like he might be setting up that kind of modified guillotine choke.
Absolutely. And it may have served him better to, instead of falling back to the guard with it, but pushed against the cage like we saw earlier in the evening.
Yeah, with D'Angelo's fight, And he will end the round yet again, almost the exact same position as round 1, in guard, landing punches. And again, Rodrigo sticks his tongue out, a little bit tired. You got to think with just the top pressure, if that's all you look at, Freddie Walker might be up 2 rounds.
Up 2 rounds. If I'm in the corner of Rodrigo, I'm going to say you've got to push forward. But look at this. You can see he's absolutely exhausted here. I think that he is more worse for the wear between the two. Freddie Walker, he's got morale going for him and appears to be better conditioned possibly. Rodrigo, again, having to go into deep waters here for the first time in his career.
These transitions are impressive. This looked really good. And watch this sweep out. Go to
absolutely.
Watch Freddie Walker right here. Right out this little, just that little hole right there.
Underneath the arm part, the left armpit of Rodrigo.
And again, we talked about striking, striking, striking. These guys showing these are not one-trick ponies. Well-rounded are both guys. Round number 3 in this amazing fight so far for the Valor Bantamweight title, which is vacant. We will leave with the champion here tonight.
Now, what are we going to see? Are we going to see the striking, or are we going to see the ground? We've seen both tonight, and both have been uberly exciting.
Let's see if Walker's tired. He might try to put the fight back on the ground. He claps hands. Let's look for some kicks here from Walker. There they are. Big shot.
Big kick to the body. Oh, looking for the guillotine is Rodrigo.
He pulled guard and they fall out. Amazing job by Walker, though. Walker landed a nice kick there.
Yeah. Tough spot here for Rodrigo. He really needs to stay off of his back, get back into position here in order to win this title fight.
You have to think he's looking for a finish. Like, it's probably not going to be him winning a round. You can look at a 10-8 and stuff, but that's a little bit far-fetched. You got to look at probably him telling himself, I got to get a finish here.
Undoubtedly. Right here, this is deep waters for Rodrigo Gonzalez, but he is still in this fight.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, he has to get back to his feet, or he has to get a sweep here. That's one of the key things. He needs to get off his back and away from the cage.
Well, Rodrigo here with a left overhook, possibly looking to set up a triangle. Freddie Walker really has to watch the right leg of Rodrigo. If he stuffs that arm and goes for it, it could be curtains.
The cage right there might affect him going for a certain submissions. And I think Walker's doing that on purpose, keeping him pinned against not only the ground and the head pressure, but the cage right there as well is working to Walker's advantage. And it's hard for Rigo to wall walk right here with all the pressure. And you notice he's leaning up and he's pushing him down, pushing him against the cage, and it's affecting Gonzalez's ability to get back to his feet. Now we might see it.
Here we go.
He pushes away. Oh, there
guard.
it is.
Looking for the armbar.
Ah.
And Freddie Walker slips it and advances to the crossbody position here.
There's no time of submission. It's harder than the third round. Both guys sweaty. They got each other sweat on them. It's a lot harder to pull triangles and armbars in round number 3 than it is, say, in a minute in round 1.
Moving close to the last minute in this fight. How bad does Rodrigo Gonzalez want it? How bad does he want that gold around his waist? He's going to have to move.
Freddie Walker working, though. Working to make sure that title goes home with him. To Team NKI and Knoxville. He is going to pass and go right to mount. This is where Gonzalez has swept twice already. Let's see if he's able to do it again. Both guys starting to get tired, and there it is. I don't think he got all the way over, and another sign that the fight has wear on him just a little bit.
Freddie with that right post. It looked like he was possibly looking to set up an armbar. Rodrigo too tight for that.
40 seconds remain here in this title fight. Co-main event tonight at Valor Fights 29 in Pigeon Forge. Freddie Walker full mount on Gonzalez. Gonzalez 30 seconds to change the course of this fight. Both guys, though, exhausted. If you missed the first 30 seconds of this fight, wow. Now Freddie Gonzalez probably sensing the time, probably not trying to make a mistake. But he gets swept again. Big sweep. He's got 15 seconds to work.
Rodrigo going for broke here. Do what he has to do to win this fight. But Freddie Walker back to his feet.
Amazing. He kicks him off. He takes back. Good knees. What a fight from both men. Looks like Freddie Walker, though, taking that gold to Knoxville with him.
Yeah, very competitive fight. Rodrigo really showing himself here, but Freddie Walker just looking championship caliber right here tonight.
And again, we have to point out 1 day notice for Rodrigo Gonzalez. What does that do? You know, what happens if this fight has a full camp to train for someone like this? Again, though, everyone in this building says, Freddie Walker, what a striker.
Yeah.
Tonight, takedown, 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 great ground control. I was real impressed with
And
Freddie
you
Walker.
mentioned earlier, you said that the ground skill was in question, man. He performed extremely well on the ground. Great transitions. He was even caught in a couple of tie submissions. He was able to defend those and move forward and into what I believe is going to be a unanimous decision victory.
Unbelievable fight. Unbelievable first 30 seconds of this fight. Both guys came out swinging. Both guys not wasting any time. And I think both guys wanted a quick win tonight. But in the end, we get treated to 3 rounds of excellent action. And I agree with you. It does appear to be Freddie Gonzalez going home with the title. We've been surprised once or twice tonight, though. So we will wait and hear what Jennifer Oxendine has when she announces our scores in just a bit. And she's heading to the cage now. Who is the Valor Bantamweight Champion? Jennifer Oxendine with the official decision.
After 3 rounds, we go to your judges for the decision. Your first judge scores this fight 30-27, second judge 30-27, and third judge 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision, out of the OEB blue corner, Freddie Frogman Walker!